I want to make a presentation on the subject failure of public infrastructure projects in Nigeria, causes, effects, and solutions. And this presentation is being made by me, Nnamdi Emeka Nweze, PhD management candidate, Texila American University. I want to present a summary of the need for this presentation and this research efforts. Nigeria currently grapples with very severe inadequate infrastructure, and this has very adverse impacts on the socio-economic development of the country. This poor infrastructure has been attributed to several failed projects over the course of many years. And therefore, this article is attempting to investigate the causes of public infrastructure project failures in Nigeria, the effects, as well as make recommendations to solutions to solving the problem. Now, if you look at the comparison of Nigeria to 5 major developing economies of the world, this is the outcome of a research conducted in January 2013, and it shows that Nigeria's infrastructure stock as a percentage of GDP stands at 25%, while that of Brazil is 53%, India is 58%, and a country like South Africa is 87%. It will interest you to note that the normal acceptable infrastructure stock for a middle income country of Nigeria's status should be about 70%. And so, considering that it stands currently at between 20 to 25%, it is very clear that Nigeria has very poor infrastructures. Now, the impact of these infrastructures constitute a very huge burden on both foreign and local businesses. This is because of the difficulties that business owners encounter in accessing markets for their goods and agro products, using bad roads, using ports and cargo handling facilities that are not up to date with international standards. And so failed infrastructure projects have led to post-harvest losses of as much as 40% by farmers. And so this situation has led to a hostile environment, very low national productivity, very poor living standards amongst the citizenry, and a very lean and even declining industrial base. It has also caused Nigeria to be heavily reliant on imported goods from China, from India, from America, from Turkey, and some other countries. Going by a report which was commissioned by the presidential panel a couple of years ago, it is estimated that about 11,886 federal government infrastructure projects failed in the last 40 years. And so it is very important to critically evaluate the failure of infrastructure projects in Nigeria, given its huge impact on Nigeria's socio-economic well-being, and to try to determine the causes of these failures, the effects of the failures, and prefer or recommend possible solutions. Now, to achieve this, it was very necessary to use a research methodology that will give us a clear understanding of the situation, given the nature of the research. So I decided to use a qualitative research method. Specifically, I used the method of content analysis. Content analysis is easily regarded as the most reliable method of finding out reasons behind a trend over a long period of time. It is unobtrusive, it is cheap, it is inexpensive, and it appeared the best research method that I could use, essentially because of its reliability. If someone else were to do the same research and employ the same method, he would likely arrive at the same conclusions. Now, I chose also not to use quantitative methods or to use questionnaires, because a lot of research has been done in the past in this area using quantitative research methods through questionnaires, structured and unstructured, and methods like that. And so I decided to use a different approach to also obtain a different view that is devoid of the influence of maybe professionals that have been whose opinions are being sampled, because this content analysis method didn't have any interface with anybody. It just simply was based on conducting an in-depth review of textbooks, academic journals, conference proceedings, organizational publications, and relevant websites. The information was then analyzed and categorized into units, and then subsequently themes were developed for reaching conclusion. Now, at the end of the analysis, certain factors came to the fore. I call these factors the 10 causative factors of project failure in Nigeria, and not necessarily in order of importance, but these factors are listed as can be seen. The first factor is poor project management and inefficient resource allocation. Now, the practice of project management over the years in Nigeria has not been as professional as it should be. So many engineers and project professionals have not lived up to the expected standards in terms of the planning of projects, in terms of the allocation of resources, not just material resources, but also human resources and capital to projects. And because most of the time projects are hurriedly conceived, projects are hurriedly developed and then signed, and execution starts also in a hurry, this denies the contractors and the stakeholders the needed time to sit down together and work out a very realistic project management and resource allocation method that will guarantee the success of the project. And so this is one of the fundamental causes of project failure. Now, the second cause of project failure, or causative factor, like I said, is lack of financial capacity and delays in processing payment for contractors. The Nigerian law on procurement of contracts stipulates that a contractor seeking to execute infrastructure projects in Nigeria would only be paid 10 to 15% maximum of the cost of the project, and then afterwards the contracting company would have to provide the financial capacity to undertake the project. And as the project goes on, the work done would be evaluated, and certificates of payment would be processed, and payment would be executed while the work is ongoing. And so the challenge and the pattern has been for companies who don't have the financial capacity to undertake and secure projects and then begin to source for funding only after the projects have been signed. And because the 10% or 15% government makes available is inadequate to complete the entire project, it throws up a situation where the contractor possibly may not get the funding he or she needs from the financial institutions, and that could lead and has in fact led to the failure of several projects in the past. Similarly, the third causative factor is bureaucracy, corruption, and inaccurate cost estimates. Recently, it was estimated that Nigeria is amongst the first 10 most corrupt countries in the world. And this has had very adverse effects on Nigeria's infrastructural development. This is because government officials connive with contractors to siphon funds meant for execution of projects. And so when contracts are awarded and mobilization fees are paid, contractors in connivance with public officials then divert the funds and the matter becomes stalemated. This eventually often leads to litigation in courts, and most projects that have been abandoned have ended up in courts for years because the funds for the project was diverted.
Navasi?
And so
hello. Hello, Navasi.
Yes?
Yeah, you just got another 4 minutes, that's it.
I just got?
You got another 2 more minutes. Please complete faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fourth causative factor is contractor non-performance and deficient contracting practices. Other factors include lack of experience and knowledge and lack of technical competence, inadequate planning, poor scheduling, poor monitoring and scope tracking, poor design. So these are some of the factors that have led to failure of infrastructure projects in Nigeria. Now, the above mentioned causes of infrastructure projects are interwoven in such a manner that one single causative factor dovetails into another. And so it is a very intricate web of problems. The recommendation that I'm making is therefore that government in Nigeria must review Nigeria's procurement laws, such as the Public Procurement Act of 2007, and plug leakages. Relevant government agencies such as the Bureau for Public Procurement and the National Council on Procurement and the Due Process Office overseeing federal government projects must be sanitized. Government at federal, state and local levels must quickly address unbridled corruption, nepotism and widespread community interference in the award of contracts. If these are done, I believe the Nigerian infrastructure stock will expand and increase, and these are the references that I have made. Thank you for listening.